Good morning, everybody, and this is your Forex day trade setups for today. So I'm just going to start off on the weekly with EUR-USD. Just want to highlight something here. So we had a pretty strong uptrend. We've come back into this area of consolidation here and basically bounced off that fairly strongly. But we have ended up with an inside bar at the moment. And that inside bar is off a trend line like that, and then we have a weekly level right there where price is right now. So that's a previous breakout. So you can see we found some support there, we broke through it, came back up and down. So if we start looking at the 8-hour, just keep that picture in our heads. We've had a downward trend line, we've had a confirmation of an upward trend line brewing. Look at my oscillators, we're back onto a weekly level, and if I just fine tune that weekly level over here, which is this area here at 119.937, it does look like we're looking for structure for a continuation to the upside. So it definitely does look like we're having some kind of a continuation at the upside. So with that in mind, if you look at the hour, you would tend to disagree with that analysis because look how we've fallen off, and you'd basically be waiting to see a bounce off this area, rejection off 125.84, and I'm in two camps here. So we've got these two weekly levels that we have stayed above for quite some time. Does look like we're finding some kind of support here, and then we've got this area of support which we sort of broke through on Friday. So two scenarios here. I think just come back to the 8-hour. We could reverse. In other words, this is actually a weekly rejection of this diagonal. Okay, or alternatively, we could find a way back to the upside. So kind of a coin toss at the moment until we get some confirmation. And I think the point of the matter is this area here, 122.24, is a pretty strong weekly area, and as is this 119.937. So those are the areas that we're going to need to drop below, come back and retest before start any decisions that we're going to continue falling. So for me at the moment, this is really sit quietly and wait what's going on, wait to see what's going on. If we do bounce up to this area here, 125.84, and we start rejecting it, then that would give me confirmation that we have an potential early trend change. I want to see that on the 8-hour before I'm convinced. But that's kind of my view at the moment. So it's kind of sit on hands, watch what happens at this level, 125.84. Alternatively, if there is a break to the downside and we get through these two levels here, which is 122.24 and 119.937, if we get through that area to the downside, come back and test it, then short it is. Okay, so we're kind of at a crossroad there. US dollar, Japanese yen, similar kind of picture. Also starting off on the weekly, you can see we've got this really strong weekly trend line that we've broken. So we came up to test it and then got through, came back. I've got a weekly crossover of my moving averages happening. I bounce off the weekly 155. Those are all signals that we have a fairly strong upward trend brewing. My oscillators are a little bit concerning because they are grouped down upside and they're pointing down. So with that in mind, come back to your 8-hour. And I suppose we can just zoom in one, and you can see most of last week was up, testing that diagonal. You can see there's a diagonal there, and then closing above it, going into close. Moving averages haven't really crossed over yet, but we are above the 155 still. So this upward trend is still intact. This 3-week pullback here was just that, a pullback, or 4-week pullback. It's just that, a pullback. So now we're back up in this area here. So what that leads me to believe, and it's already starting, is we're looking for opportunities to buy. And this is looking like a long-term view, pretty much probably longer than what you see in the downward trend. Okay, so I'm looking for opportunities to buy into this, and the first area was down here at 109.265. Don't think that's going to materialize just yet. We do have another opportunity at 109.355. So this is opportunities to buy at the moment, and as far as I'm concerned, this trend is intact to the upside. We are breaking diagonals. We are, on the higher time frames, it looks like trend changes. So that's kind of the way we're looking at this, and nothing else to add to that. Wait for the pullbacks and look for opportunities to buy into this. There's no opportunity right now. This is probably going to play out this flag. So there's a move flag. The next move up should be the height of this move into it. British pound, Japanese yen. So we are sideways at the moment. There's no two ways about that. The critical thing here is we need to wait for this 8-hour bar to finish, get our confirmation, but it's breaking, it's holding above the moving averages. So what that basically means, it means to get down to the hours so you can see what that pattern's going to look like. There was my move up, okay, and this here was my consolidation. So it is still my consolidation, but there is this little diagonal that was broken. So we do have a bit of a wedge that's been broken. So one of two things here. Let's put another level in here. There we go. So probably a move up into this area, a rejection of that area, and a pullback of sorts. I'm looking for a pullback, a break above the moving averages, and a hold of those moving averages. Alternatively, I'm looking for structure, and the structure is where I've put my levels in at the moment. So 151.360, or alternatively 151.576. So I want price above it. I want to come back and test it and then move up. I've got a wedge break, but obviously I want to see a pullback to test the wedge break, and that would be down to 150.971. Alternatively, it's a break and retest of this area, 151.576. So yeah, be patient for this one, because this is your measured move. If we go like that, we're looking at a move into the area of 154.184. So you need to be patient and wait for the structure here to break. Don't get overly excited and try and chase it, because it could still be volatile until it confirms a break of either this channel or alternatively comes back and tests this wedge break. But either way, this trend is looking to be to the upside to me, and you can see we've got confirmation on the higher time frame, and that is, there's a big area of resistance here as well. So that break up would basically give us a new high as well. So yeah, I think this upward trend that we've had all along into this consolidation phase, I think that is the next step. Once we get a break up to here, then we've got a much bigger measured move, but we'll get to that on later videos. Okay, last one, which is Euro British Pound. So this hasn't changed. I'm looking for this neckline. So the neckline is shoulder, head, shoulder. So it's an inverse head and shoulders after a massive downtrend, and we've got confirmation of an uptrend already in place at the moment. So we've got moving average crossovers, but I'm looking for a break and retest of 0.87167, and until that happens, it is still sit on hands, but I anticipate that something is going to brew shortly. So at the moment we are sideways. There's no real reason to get into this just yet, and you can see you might as well just draw a level down there. That is your range. We are sideways. Stay away from it, but a break above this area of 0.87167 does set into motion a very, very, very big target to the upside. First one would be 0.87784, break of that, and we are looking at 0.89602. Anyway, that's it for me today. Hope it helps, and we'll catch up with you tomorrow. Cheers for now.